We're going to talk to Ron in Cleveland, Ohio, listening on WCRF. Welcome to Open Line, Ron. How can I help you today?
Thank you very much. I appreciated your monologue at the beginning. You've given that before, and it always reminds me of the Corrie ten Boom movie, The Hiding Place, which was so wonderful. So thank you for doing that. I got a question. I'm so glad you're back this week because I've been thinking about this all week. I've been looking in the great, big, beautiful Moody Bible commentary book for some answers. It all had to deal with the Pope being in passing and being placed over what they say he was lying in state above where St. Peter's, who's supposedly the first Catholic Pope, his bones were buried. And I found out in Moody, and in the Bible too, I was checking everything, that Peter never went to Rome at all, and he was married, and I don't think he started the Catholic Church. I was reading where James, the half-brother of Jesus, and you call him Jacobus, I've heard you say that before, was actually the head of the first church in Jerusalem. Now, straighten this out for me. Where are the bones? And I don't think Peter became a Catholic.
Well, Acts 12 is where you see the transfer of leadership. It's after Peter is released from prison. And remember the angel comes and rescues Peter, and then Peter goes, knocks on the door.
Right.
Remember that?
And they thought he was a ghost or whatever.
Yeah, or something, right. And it says in verse 17, motioning to them with his hand to be silent, he explained to them how the Lord, this is Acts 12:17, how the Lord had brought him out of the prison. Then he says, report these things to James and the brothers. And he departed and went to a different place. Up until Acts 12, right there, Peter was the leader of the church in Jerusalem. At that point, when he's going to go traveling, that's when James seems to take over as the chief elder of the church of Jerusalem. The other verse that people use, let's see if I can find it, and this fits with early church history, that Peter went to Rome, and he says something to the effect of, she who is in Babylon greets you. And people say, no, he really went to Babylon. But most people understood what he was. Most people believe, most interpreters say that when he says that, I'm looking for the verse. Oh, here, 1 Peter 5:13, the church in Babylon, also chosen, sends you greetings, as does Mark, my son. Greet one another with a kiss of love. So at the end of the book of 1 Peter, when Peter says the church in Babylon, he's using Babylon as code for Rome. Most people would. And so I know there are a lot of people, kind of feisty Protestants, who don't want Peter, and they will say, oh, no, he was in Babylon. But I think it's likely, according to earliest church history, that Peter did go to Rome. In terms of where the four Gospels come from, I think Matthew was first, and then Luke came along and wrote the Gospel for the Greco-Roman world. And then Mark comes along and writes the shortest one, the briefest kind of action-packed Roman kind of story. And what it was is that Mark is the companion of Peter. Peter goes to Rome according to tradition, and he gives this message telling the life of Jesus in a public way. And then Mark writes it down. And so the reason Mark's gospel has the authority that it does immediately is because of his association with Peter. Just the same way Luke's gospel has authority because of his association with Paul. And so I think that Peter really was there. And I've talked about with church historian Brian Litvin, who is an exceptional church historian. And I think that in his book published by Moody Publishers called After Acts, he makes the case that the place of burial in the Vatican is likely, but not certainly, the bones of St. Peter.
No kidding. So
Yeah.
he was crucified there upside down in Rome, do you believe?
That's a tradition that's kind of late. We don't know if that's really true or not. Thank you for watching Open Line. If you have a question about the Bible that you'd like to ask me, please comment below. Make sure to hit subscribe too, so you don't miss my response.